But today I just really wanted to gather a few people together, a few people that are leading the charge. I wanted to invite Randy on, introduce you to him. If you haven't met him, I'm sure you've probably seen him on presentations and know his story, but we'll learn a little bit more about him shortly. But just really take you guys through the system to make sure that, we're going to be launching in the next week or two to make sure that there's absolutely no roadblocks for you guys to be building. There's people out there that have put 20, 30 people in, and there's people that don't know where their link is to share the Lev AI. So we've got people that I just want to make sure you understand the system. So we'll run through our Facebook groups. We're going to run through the compensation plan today just to make sure you have every single understanding that you need to go and build this business because we're all in with this. We're going to be building this all over the world. We've got people that are coming in from different countries already. Over 30, 40,000 people joined the company since we started a month ago. So it's really well received. That's when you know things are going to work. As I said, a week or two away from launching. So it's good timing to get everyone together to make sure we know what we're doing. So Randy, just we'll just go back and forth a little bit. I guess for those that don't know Randy's story, Randy, in a couple of minutes, just tell us your background, network marketing, and how we got to where we are.
Thanks, Aaron. And first of all, I want you all to know that I am deeply committed to the success of this group. Aaron is a person of profound influence. I respect him. I've known of him for years, and it's a privilege to work with you and your team. So thank you for letting me do this. My short introduction for me, folks, I've been in network marketing forever. I was raised in a home with no money. In third grade, I came home from school and I told my mom I wanted Converse sneakers. And she said, we can't afford those. I came home a couple of days later and said, I want Levi's jeans. She said, we can't afford those. Network marketing has always been my solution. I became a distributor for a company called Watkins when I was 9 years old. Life is strange. That was the first network marketing company in the world. 25 years later, not even 25 years, 24 years later, I sold a company that I had started to Watkins. And I became a member of the board of directors of a network marketing company, the same one I joined when I was a kid. I got involved as an adult in 1990, and that's when I became a new skin distributor. In the years since then, I've been maybe the luckiest guy on the planet. My organizations have done $5 billion in sales. People in my groups have been paid more than $2.5 billion in commissions. And I don't like to talk about my own results. I want to talk about your results and what we can do together. But here's the God's honest truth. My first year in network marketing, I made $49,000. My second year, 160. My third year, 409. My fourth year, 750. And the next 29 years in a row, over $1 million. So I do know this at a very, very high level. And I will tell you that it is my deepest belief, based upon all those years of experience, that every single thing that you and I have prepared ourselves to do will now be leveraged. I mean, the company has leveraged AI, but it will now be leveraged. The absolute truth is that 2.5 years ago, I was wondering if all that I've learned and tried to become was even relevant anymore, because what I used to do doesn't work in the network marketing industry. The great news is that now, what Aaron said a minute ago, over 32,000 people have joined us in a handful of days. And what it's proven to me is that, yes, everything we know is still relevant. We just have to have the right project. And the market always knows. I was a senior vice president at Merrill Lynch. If the market's going up, you can know the economy is going to be good. The market's never wrong. If the market's going down, you know that there's problems in the economy. It's never wrong. The market is right. And the market is telling us all we have to know. Without a dollar in advertising, this company's assembled not just 32,000 people. Aaron Barley, I mean, we've assembled fantastic people, not just people, fantastic people. This will be the biggest success of our careers. I absolutely believe what Sundar Pichai said. I think this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. I think it's going to be bigger than the Industrial Revolution, just like Demis Hassabis has said, and maybe 10 times faster. And so all of those things, that's the business side of me. What's the other side? The other side is I'll be 68 years old next week, 2 weeks from now. I have an 8-year-old little boy and a very young, beautiful wife, both of whom I promised they would be perfectly taken care of in my absence, because the truth is they will one day need financial resources and they won't be able to turn to me to provide them. And so my task is to create an income stream that I know for an absolute fact will serve. Samantha doesn't need me to make money for her. She's a capable person. But I've promised her that if she works when I'm not here, it's because she wants to, not because she has to. I don't know what else you need to know about me. I will tell you this. I do my very best. I tell the truth. Sometimes I'll be wrong. I'll never say anything that I know to be not true. If ever anything I say winds up not being factual, it's because I was wrong. Sometimes I make mistakes, but not many. And if I make them, I'll acknowledge it. I'll apologize for it, correct it, and we'll go forward. That's me.
Love it, mate. And yeah, that's why we join with Randy. That's why we're here. It's a good partnership. It's a good team. It's a great company. And I was actually at an AI event yesterday. I turned 47 yesterday, so I'm catching up to you, Randy, but I'm still a bit behind. But I went to an AI event actually because what I've decided is, when AI first came around, I put my head in the sand like an ostrich and said, I can't learn another thing, but you just can't put your head in the sand with AI. It is here to stay. It's just getting bigger and bigger. And so I'm just learning as much as I can to position myself in front of that wave. And when Lev AI came along, to me, it was finally a way to monetize AI. I felt like I was standing on the porch drinking my coffee, just watching Ferraris drive past, and everyone knew about AI except for me. And so, I started with the Chat GBT and started using it, and yeah, that's helped it. But what's really making money? And this was a way to leverage that AI, and it was a way to monetize that AI. And at the end of the conference yesterday, as per expectation, the speaker offered a program. It was about $5,000, and he went through everything that you would get in that. And I was sitting there thinking, Lev AI has that. Lev AI has that. Lev AI has that. I don't need to spend $5,000 here. We're about to launch with every single thing and they were talking about, your chat bots and your twin AI and all these types of things. So it was an interesting conference, but I'm telling you what we have coming out is as good as anything that's out there. So let's just run through, I'm going to share my screen a little bit here. I just want to run through what our system is, guys. So take note of this. So we have two Facebook groups at the moment. We have AI Wealth Builders and we have AI Legacy Team. So just make sure you're keeping in touch with all the communications. So make sure that you are in Randy's WhatsApp group, the corporate WhatsApp group. Make sure you're in there. Make sure you're in the Telegram groups. Make sure you're in the Facebook groups. So the AI Wealth Builders, this is a group where you can put everybody in, right? Do it invitation based, do it with permission. So don't just go and spam people in the group. People don't like that. So have conversations, invite people. But this AI Wealth Builders, what we want to create with this is real education, real value, showing people how to use AI. And particularly once Lev AI launches, we can do a lot of demonstrations in this group. So this is really just bringing in the masses, a bit like the ATM system, right, that we used in the past. And then obviously we talk about Lev AI in there. So it's a great opportunity to bring people in, get them educated about AI, take a lot of the overwhelm and confusion away and show them simple tactics that they can use in their business, in their lives. And then, of course, hey, by the way, Lev AI is the way to go. Everything in one spot, 49 a month, 99 a month. So the AI Wealth Builders, please feel free to invite as many people invitation with permission into that. So there's 245 people in there already. And then the AI, the other one is really for people that have signed up. So this one's really for our team. So if you've got a free account already, make sure you're in this team. So this is the legacy team. Because we want to build a legacy. We want this to be the last company that we ever do, right? So AI legacy team. So make sure you're in that team if you're a member. So this is just for the Lev AI people. Also, make sure you're in the Telegram group, WhatsApp group. If you're wondering where the links to these are, jump into the Facebook groups and in the featured section just here. You'll see all the links to Telegram, WhatsApp, and everything is sitting there. So stay in touch with all the different communications. So that's that one. Um, I also just want to go through and make sure you guys understand what is about to come. And this is where we'll get Randy's input as well. So now that we've got a bit of time to spend together, and you guys can ask questions in the chat as we go. So in the chat there, if you do have questions, this is such a great time to get any clarity that you need with the product, with the comp plan, with the system, whatever it may be. And look, guys, if you need me to get on Zooms with you and your team, one-on-one, one-on-two, we're going to be building this with AI. We're going to be building out this whole team with AI. But let me tell you, the old school three-way calls still work. So if you've got a person of influence, if you've got a big networker and you feel like the message is just not getting through to them, put them on the phone to me. Put them on the phone to Randy. We're here to jump on a three-way call, three-way Zoom, whatever you may need. We'll be doing live events. We'll be doing one-on-ones. I'll be touring around. We'll be going everywhere. So, the old stuff still works, guys. People still want that human interaction. In fact, it works better than anything. But
Right.
yes, we will be using, AI to help us build this out as well. And that is actually one of the products. If we come down to searchable products, searchable prospects here. I've actually tried this technology out and it's pretty good. In fact, I put an example up in the Facebook group of me doing it. And one of the prospects I put up, I think I put, okay, let's demonstrate females over 40, live in Australia, must be involved in network marketing and a few other bits and pieces. And it takes a few seconds and it came up and it actually brought up a profile. I'm like, I think that name looks familiar. And she was a person in my old downline in my old company. And so the prospect list works pretty good. It'll bring you some good people. And so you can start to reach out to them. You can use AI to reach out to them. So you'll be able to build this with AI. And a lot of people say, I've run out of people to speak with. I don't know who to talk to. I haven't got any followers on Facebook. You'll be able to use that prospecting tool to help you to reach out to people, get me involved, get Randy involved, use the AI to help you get involved. So that's that one there. But let's just run through them. So the AI video twin, we've seen that demonstrated all on the presentations. That's in both the basic and the pro. So the basic's going to be 49 a month. The pro is going to be 99 a month. You can speak in 150 different languages. And so this AI twin, it looks exactly like you. Can you tell it's AI? Probably just from the the lip syncs and those sorts of things, which are getting better and better all the time. But I just had a question from a friend that lives in Spain. He, I've been trying to recruit this guy for like 5 years and I haven't been able to. And he's finally come back and said, actually, I think you might be onto something with this AI. I've just got a few questions about the comp plan. So I went and put an audio in on the AI. And then me, which I'd already put in a photo of me, and it answered him in Spanish all about the compensation plan. And he's just like, whoa, that's very, very cool. And he wants to come and join. So the AI twin, you think about what you're going to be able to use this for, what businesses are going to be able to use this for. Just that one thing there alone is very, very cool. Now, the personalized chat GBT type device, hey, maybe Randy can tell us a little bit about that. Will this replace chat GBT? Probably not, right? So this is really going to be able to tell you a lot about network marketing, a lot about the compensation plan, a lot about what you should write, sort of a back and forth on those types of things. But it's not going to be, able to design a logo, for example, and things like that. So maybe, Randy, if you could just touch on that particular personalized GBT there and tell us a little bit more about how that works.
Yeah, the personalized GPT again, recognize that if we use Chat GPT, we get good solutions, but we don't get solutions that are specific to this enterprise. Chat GPT is not part of our culture. It's not a part of our team. And so in my own case, so you guys, I know you've been listening to the various presentations, but the reason for my success has been principally what I've taught in terms of leadership content. The company has to be legitimate, the product has to be real. But I've had four separate instances in my career where I've had 1 million people in my enrollment tree. I've had four separate companies where I've earned $10 million or more. It's the leadership content that I teach that has created that. That's evidenced by the fact that it's been four different companies, it's been four different comp plans, it's been four different products, but it's been one process. And so the ability to use the completely interactive GPT, that its effectiveness, the interactive avatar loaded with your content, its effectiveness from a conversational standpoint is determined by the depth of content you have. Right? If you only have a few hours of content, then there's not a whole lot of conversation that could happen with that. In my own case, I've already uploaded more than 200 hours of content that's already been provided. 200 hours of content. That's a lot. And so when one interacts with my personalized GPT or my personalized avatar, it is getting content that is drawn from my 200 hours that I've uploaded to it. So it's very specific. So would it replace ChatGPT? No, because ChatGPT knows a lot of things that I don't know anything about. But ChatGPT does not know and understand our business anywhere nearly as well as I do. So no, ChatGPT, a different functionality. This is content specific to our enterprise.
Perfect, perfect. That's the exact answer we're looking for. I love it. Business
Okay.
profiles, so different multiple business profiles, one business on the basic, multiple on the pro. And so for me, this is perfect, right? I can use it for my LevAI, I can use it for Gray's Craze, I can use it for brokering bits, I can use it for multiple businesses. Think about entrepreneurs and business owners that want different profiles. So using it for LevAI is very, very smart, but you might have a traditional business as well that you can use multiple. So you get multiple avatars, multiple chat GBTs, things like that.
May I make
AI
one comment
powered.
on that? May I make one comment there? Because a question
Yep.
will come up. Amazingly to me, when we talk about value proposition,
Mm,
amazingly, when it says multiple profiles, as many as you want, there is
wow.
no limitation, as many as you want. Okay.
That's very cool. And again, looking at the conference yesterday and thinking, and I want to ask you this question here, Randy. For someone that perhaps has a digital agency or an AI agency, or maybe even looking to get into that, it's one of the great ways to make money today. But, it's not as leveraged as a network marketing compensation plan can be. But could a person treat this as such? So could I go to a business and say, hey, look, we can put an AI avatar in your business. We can do this and this, all these different things that we have here. And could I charge, say, $1,000 to go and set that up for them? And the business comes on board, they pay their $99 per month. Is that an area where an agency could tap into Lev AI?
Yes, not only is, but many people will do that. And in fact,
Hmm.
we will fashion ourselves once we get past launch and get the immediacy, the immediate things that have to be done. We actually vision ourselves as sort of an AI university,
Hmm.
and there's value added to that. And so, absolutely, we can sell the service of teaching a business how to use AI separate and distinct from becoming a member of our program. And yes, that is absolutely an added revenue stream.
And that's what I text Randy yesterday. Can we have, the avatar onto a website like a chat?
Yes,
And he was
and
like,
that's
yes, we
yes,
can. And so again,
yes.
sitting at this conference yesterday, I'm thinking we are on such a gold mine here because we had maybe 30 people in the room yesterday. Everyone was just blown away by it and everyone just signed up. And I'm thinking we have got something better here, much more leverage, much more compound once you understand the compensation plan. And so, yeah, you can build this out just as a network marketing opportunity, but you could go to businesses, educate them, get them in the community, get them these tools, and it's going to be an incredible residual income. But, maybe you help them get set up. A lot of business owners just don't want to know about it themselves. Okay, I'll do it for you, but I'm going to charge you X, Y, and Z. There's lots of different revenue streams you can make here. And when we talk about customers, in a traditional network marketing business, we're looking at people that just want to lose weight or get healthy or like the skincare. Customers are going to be so easy with this because you think about how many solopreneurs and influencers and small businesses are going to want this product. Customers are going to be really, really easy. And this is going to be the stickiest product you've ever seen. People aren't going to skip an auto ship every month. They're going to keep paying 99 a month because they're going to love the tools in their business, right?
I mean, at this flashpoint in time, and the task will be to retain this uniqueness and this relevance. But you folks have been in network marketing. Have you ever had the best product and the best price? No. We have always argued that we have the best product. It's whatever. It's our fruits, nuts, and berries, and we have always argued we have the best product. And then we've explained away why it costs twice what something so close to it costs downtown. This is the first time in our lives that we get to argue that we have the best product and the best price. And once again, I say it on the presentations, Mercedes doesn't argue that they have the best price. They argue they have the best car. Kia doesn't say they make the best product. They say we have the best value. When have you ever had the chance to say we offer the most sophisticated product, and the best price? This is a rare moment in time. This doesn't happen.
100%. So tell us a little bit about the CRM, Randy. I'm not sure whether you've had a chance to look at that or understand fully. What I do love about it is, take a screenshot with your phone, take a picture of someone's LinkedIn profile. It's going to upload it into the CRM system for a name, phone number, email. And, what I love about this whole concept, right? I mean, I've been in the industry for 27, 28 years now. And I know Randy sometimes says things like this. I have an email database, but not a big one. In fact, nowhere near as big as it should be. I've got a few
Right.
followers on social media, not as many as I should. And
Right.
each time that we build a company, I've got a friend in the US who understands network marketing really well. He's in IT, and we keep talking about building out this team website, right? And so it's a website where people can go and they can check the calendar, and then Next Zoom's on, and I can send them emails and SMS and all these types of things. And this whole system it's our product. This is what this is going to do. And so you're going to be able to talk to your team inside this system. You're going to be able to have your team's name, phone number, emails. You're going to have customers' name, phone numbers, emails, and start to, create. I mean, if this stopped being a network marketing business tomorrow, I'd keep the CRM going, right? But I guess, Randy, my question in the CRM is, would this replace my Go High level or the CRM that I'm used to using in my business, or is it just sort of a good specific add-on the side?
There's exactly no reason to use any other CRM once this product goes live. I mean, none. There is nothing any other CRM does that this does not do, and this does things that others do not. That literally is a redundant expense that can be eliminated. You can do a very simple import from your other CRM to this CRM. It may take a matter of minutes to do the upload, and I can think of not one reason to maintain another CRM.
That's incredible. And that brings us to our next point. You know, my current CRM builds landing pages for me, but guess what? So does this. And
That's
again, I've,
right.
I've tried this technology out. And all I did was just sort of describe my businesses. So I said, look, here's my website. Here's what my business does. Put all the hot points in, and then bang, it just built the website. And look, I would say the website was okay. It was good. Like it looked good. It's usable straight away within 10 seconds. Now, if you wanted to make the changes, you just spend a bit more time on it and say, oh, look, I want to change that color and let's put the opt-in down here and take that picture and put this picture in. So you spend that bit of extra time and it's going to build you a website as good as any website. So to me, Randy, that's a really cool aspect where the most non-tech person on the planet is going to be able to have a live website landing page, run ads to it for your LevAI or whatever business you want.
Also important to note, questions have come up. You can use whatever domain name you want,
Hmm.
.com, .it, .ai. I know that's not mandated. You can choose to host it on GoDaddy. You can have LevAI host it. I mean, it
Hmm.
really, there isn't, as we go through all of this, there is only good news. We're not going to come up with a question where we say, oh, darn, sorry. I mean, there's just only good news here.
Absolutely. And we kind of spoke about the rest, that the searchable prospects, the mentoring AI.
A couple
Um,
of let me make just a couple of comments about the searchable prospects. First, I don't know if you mentioned it and highlighted it, but I've been a part of lead programs before, and it's been
mhm,
frustrating to me to contact someone and find out that I was the fourth guy that called him that day.
mhm.
Because that lead was being just so understand this: there are over 2 billion there. Every person who is on that list has already clicked opt in. Therefore, they've already agreed, yes, contact me by phone, by email. You will know when you receive it what they've opted into. So we're not going to be stepping on any toes. And there is no contact that is delivered, no lead is delivered more than two times. No, after the second time it's delivered once, it's delivered a second time, it's gone. And it is never delivered more than once in an 11-month period. So you can know that no one got that lead you got. Either they've never received it, or if it happened, it was 11 months ago. So you're not going to be making a phone call and finding out that we're pitting you against others. I felt that way. I'm calling the same
Mm.
lead that Aaron's calling. And now I'm competing with a member of my group. That doesn't make sense, does it? That will never happen here. And the lead is jettisoned after only two times. So it's a 22-month long. That's how long it stays in. It's only provided to somebody twice. And again, I'll highlight this fact that when somebody is spending extra money for a lead, then it's logical that there might be periodic resentment because they didn't get what they wanted. They didn't get a customer they didn't get. But if there's no added cost, then it's only good. It's another example. There's only good. We're not going to come up with something that is not in that framework.
It's incredible. It just gets better and better, right?
Yeah.
So, guys, any questions you have, make sure you type them in the chat. Answer to your question, Kathy, is yes, absolutely, you will. Question here from Ryan: will it manage content and chase leads automatically on social media for multiple different businesses? So, with your different profiles, Ryan, you can use it for, so for example, like the person that you're looking for Lev AI is different to the person that I'm looking for a franchise, right? So
Right.
I'll write in different prompts to find the right person for that and my different profiles. And
And
then
I see a question there. I see a question there just about from Kathy. As part of your team, do we get access to that information? Anything that I have that helps you, you have access to.
yeah, and then I guess with social media, it's more about does it connect straight into our socials, Randy? So can we just go bang and it's on Facebook, or are we sort of getting it written, copy and pasting it onto our socials?
No, it'll go straight to your socials.
Great. That's beautiful. Beautiful. All right, guys, let's change gears a little bit. Keep asking those questions that you have. Anything about the system that you're not sure of, the product that we're getting you're not sure of. I just want to change gears and we're going to go into the compensation plan because this comp plan is really simple to understand. Where are we? Right here. So let's go here. Randy might do some whiteboard. He loves his whiteboard with this sort of stuff. But Randy's a bit of a compensation plan. There you go.
I also love this though.
He's a bit of a compensation plan nerd. He understands the numbers really well. He's written numerous compensation plans. So with a compensation plan, what I always say is, yeah, we've got to get the maths right. Like you don't want the company going broke and we want to make a ton of money. So you got to get the maths right. But also, too, more importantly, it's the psychology of a compensation plan. And so what I always dislike with compensation plans is, okay, I've got to lead partner, now I'm advanced partner, I've got to mentor, but to get to director, I have to have five advanced partners. And then to get to innovator director, I've got to have six mentors. And none of that in this compensation plan. So what I do like about it is I can explain it in 5 minutes. It's really simple and people understand it. No hoops to jump through. Pretty simple. And what I love, love, love about this compensation plan, and Randy will speak to this, is everything you see on here, the percentages, the numbers, it's all on the dollar. So we don't need to confuse people that don't understand network marketing with this PV, QPV type of talk. And what it's great for us, even if you do understand that, is understanding the numbers are all based on the dollar. So, for example, and we'll go through this step by step in a second, but if you look at this 4% here on levels 2 through to 8, if you look at most compensation plans, that's probably like 8 to 10% of the PV. But we'll run through this step by step. And so the numbers are based on the dollar. So, firstly, we'll get 50% of the dollar. So, if someone signs up for a $99 package, we get 50% of that. So we get $50 on each sign up, not 20%, not 10%, but 50%. And that's really working on the big trend that's come through this industry of affiliates. So a lot of
Right.
people won't want to build a team. I mean, it still blows my mind that they don't, but there are a lot of people. I mean, when surveyed, it's incredible the amount of people that don't want to build a team, but they will recommend this product. They'll be using it, they'll be entrepreneurs, they'll love it and just go, you got to get into this, and they'll just refer it, and 50% is attractive for them. 10%, 20%, that's not going to do much for them. 50% is great. And then, we get 20% ongoing on our personal enrolled. So for, you think about on the $99 pack, we're getting $20 a month on our personally enrolled. So just on that for 1 second, if I work out, okay, I always like to compare it to things that I know in the past. If I had, say, 100 people personally enrolled in my old company, which was a binary compensation plan, and they're on 60 points per month, because that was the auto ship order. Frank, you remember this, 60 points on a skin serum. And then I would need, a certain amount of people to get 300 points, and then I get my cycle of $35. And so I worked out today that if I had 100 personal enrolled doing that, I'd make $700 with 100 personal enrolled. Here, what's 20% of 2,000, right? I would make $2,000 a month just with 100 personal enrolled. So 100 personal enrolled, $20 a month, there's 2 grand a month. So I'm making $2,000 a month with 100 personal enrolled. In my old company, I'd be making $700 is the point. And so I love that 20% on level one. I love the 50% on joining. And then we can start to talk about a few of the other ones. But Randy, anything just on that, the level ones, the 50% join? I mean, it's pretty simple stuff.
The only thing I would say is that none of us, we have been, I think on this group, Aaron, I, and presumably most of you have been in the direct selling industry. And the direct selling industry, because we've always had products that were priced to fund the comp plan, most people in the direct selling industry are not customer centric because you can only get people to buy network marketing products who are interested in the comp plan. Understand, we are now delivering a product that is the best price for the customer. This changes it. There's a company that has kind of stubbed its toe called on Passive that you may have heard of, who's been trying and failing to deliver an AI product. I mean, they just haven't been able to do it. Um, but we enrolled, it wasn't me, but we enrolled in our business today a gentleman who had 3,260 personal customers in on Passive. 3,260. You see, we're not limited to those who want to build teams. Those who want to build teams, we want to help them because we understand the leverage that is there. But we need to, again, wipe clean the whiteboard and realize that what we've done in the past is not the same thing we should do here. I want to have, if that guy can have 3,000 customers, so can I. And if I got 3,000 customers that are paying that monthly fee, 20% of that, that turns into a great big piece of income that I've never had before. I've
Mhm.
had the leveraged part of the income, but I've not had the first generation income as a result of simply attracting customers. So it's in addition to, not instead of. But I want you to know that customer acquisition here is worth a stinking fortune.
Well said. And if you think about how this will grow, it's well priced, it's affordable, it's super sexy. You're going to get a lot more people in your team a lot quicker than you used to in other companies.
Right.
So keep that in
Right.
mind as well. So pretty straightforward. We enroll someone personally, so they come through my link. I'm going to earn 20% of their subscription. So I'm earning 20% of
Sure.
their 49 a month, or I'm earning 20% of their 99 a month. Levels two, so I enroll someone. So I enroll Frank, I earn 20%. Frank enrolls Gloria, I'm going to earn 4% on Gloria because that becomes my level two, and so forth and so forth. And so remember, that's 4% on the dollar value down to 8 levels. Now, what's great about this as well is it compresses. So, I've enrolled Frank, he's on 20%. I enrolled Gloria, she's on 4%. Now, Frank drops out. And it's like, oh man, that sucks because Gloria's doing all the work and I'm only getting 4%. Well, that will compress up, and Gloria becomes my level one if I'm saying that accurately, Randy.
That is correct, and it compresses up to the 20%. It's important to point that out because there are comp plans that will allow compression, but that call that a sponsor bonus as opposed
hmm
to a level one. No, it doesn't matter if you sponsored it, if it compressed up from 8 levels below. If it's your first generation, you're getting paid to 20%.
Now, what sort of numbers? If someone's a big thinker on this Zoom, Randy, or they're a full-time networker and they've got their eyes set on $100,000 per month, what sort of numbers do you think they would need in their team? So combining team members with customers, you sort of got a figure in your mind of what the sort of number we might need?
Well, yeah. First of all, let's comment on one thing. We'll notice as we look at this that in this unilevel, one has to have advancing width to get paid in depth, right? You do this and you get that. You do this and you get that. But let's look at what it takes to be at the very top. So in my career, my first monstrous breakthrough success was a company called Rexall Showcase, and what I was required to have were 10 legs wide, right? And those 10 legs wide, in addition to having all these different numbers that you said, I had this many that were this rank and this many that were that rank, but just looking plainly at the volume, I had to have 10 legs with no more than a certain percentage of it coming out of one. And I had to have $1 million in aggregate volume to live at the top of the plan. Now, that was at Rexall Showcase. My most recent success was at Canaway, where I was a master distributor. And what did I had to have? I had to have 6 legs wide and I had to have $1 million in monthly volume. Here, 5 legs and 100,000 in monthly volume is the top of the plan. Not that, I mean, guys, this is absurd. And what does that mean to us? What it means is that our income can be predicated upon the successes of so many more people. What's frustrated me, I've had a magical career and I've enjoyed lots of it. What has been frustrating to me is the number of good people who have tried hard that haven't made enough money to stay engaged. And so I've built a business of replacement for the last 35 years, replacing somebody tomorrow. And somebody replacing, hiring, recruiting somebody tomorrow to replace somebody I recruited before because they couldn't meet the comp plan requirements. And so, critically important, it only takes $100,000 in volume to access all of it, to get everything. And then, if we look at the overall compensation plan, I can tell you I am completely confident. I've played with the numbers. I've always known that you really know how a comp plan pays out when you get your check, right? You get your check, and that's then you can look at the document and you can look at your check and you can figure it out. But over the course of my career, I have earned an average. I've always lived at the top of the plan. And so over the course of my entire career, I've earned an average of 7.5% of BV, not
hmm
7.5% of cash. I've earned 7.5% of BV. This compensation plan, it looks to me like will pay approximately the same amount on cash that we've always earned on BV. So over the course of my career, it's taken $1 million in monthly volume to produce $1 million in annual income. That's been the number. $1 million in monthly volume produces $1 million in annual income. As closely as I can compute this, I believe that it's going to take about $750,000 in monthly volume to produce $1 million annual income. And so now take 750,000 and divide it by the average between 50 and 75. Take 750,000 and now you're going to divide that by 75, 10,000 members. That's what's going to produce $1 million. That's going to be really, really close, Aaron. And that's going to be really, really close to the truth.
Beautiful. Yeah, I was thinking it might be double that, so that's really refreshing to hear. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And this on that, guys. So yeah, this is all in your back office under resources, so you can go through and have a look at this. But sometimes it's just good to talk through it and understand it. So we kick off. You've got one enrollment here.
And Aaron,
Yep.
before you go further, let me tell you why the numbers are greater than you might have computed.
hmm
The biggest reason is because of the check match. It's
Yes.
because my whole career check match has been based on what? Only on team commissions,
Correct.
right? when check match is based on enrollments.
Yeah.
And when we have a company that spits out, I mean, we're seeing it. We're seeing an application flow like nothing I've seen. And so the reason this will pay out more money on smaller volume is
Mhm.
because the check match is attributable to all parts of the compensation plan.
Mhm.
And by the way, they're already obviously all kinds of modeling and stress tests have been done. We know that in the very beginning, because all volume is new volume this month, right? All volume is new volume. There is no historic volume. And so the first month, we know that there will be a dramatic overpayment because first month payments are higher. And so all of the modeling thus far shows that all of these compensation plan things we're talking about will take the company to about a 68% first month payout. That's about what it's going to be.
Mhm.
But then when you take out, and 68% of cash, but now you
Mhm.
take out the fact that all of the volume is first month volume, then
Mhm.
all of the modeling suggests that in future months, it turns out being about 52% of cash, which is
Mhm.
exactly dead on the company's model. So for
Okay.
whatever, for those of you that are mathematically minded, that's the company model.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so one leg, $250 comes through that. You've got two customers, you're a lead partner. So this is just where you work out. I would be printing this out, putting it on your vision board, on your wall. This is like your blueprint. This is your path. So okay, great. I did that. What's my next good job? My next job is to get two legs. So I need to at least have two people enrolled, and I need $500 going through those two legs. Is it going through both legs, Randy, or $500 in total?
$500 in each leg.
$500 in each leg. I need two customers. Then a
Right.
thousand, 2,500, 5,000, 10,000, and as Randy said, five legs, 20,000 going through each leg, $100,000 going through the business, which is not much. It'll add up really, really quickly, and three customers. I mean, if you're going to be a top networker and you can't get three customers with this thing, you're not a top networker.
That's
And,
right.
and so that's your little stepping stones. And who knows? Maybe there's 200 people that get there really quickly and they add another rank. Who knows? But, you know, I would make it a goal, really, really quickly, get three teams going, get $1,000 going through that leg really, really quickly, get to mentor partner and keep your stepping stones going. So one team, two teams, three teams, four teams, five and five. So five wide and you can see the figures there. So that's your little to-do list. Let's go down to that matching bonus. And so a matching bonus, like what Randy said, in my old company, it was a percentage on the team commission. So it was a percentage on one part of their income. This is a 4% check match. So I'm going to get 4% on what Gloria is earning. And that's on my level one, but also on my level twos, and also on my level threes, and also on my level fours. So that can add up really, really quickly. Particularly if you've got people really honing, making some good money. That's where you can really dig deep and start working with. And it's pretty easy. You go into your back office and look at your team and you'll know who your leaders are. You'll be able to check out their ranks, you'll be able to see the team that they're building, and you're really diving down to build in with those people. And we're going to talk a little bit about position placements in a second. So
Can
that's
I
your
make can I
matching.
make a quick can I
Yeah.
make a quick comment on that before we leave it? Okay, so I know that probably everybody got it, but if I had not been participating in matching bonuses before, I'm not sure if this thought would have clicked into my mind. This is a leveraged matching bonus, meaning that you're getting paid on multiple generations. And so when we talk about where is the money in the plan, there's a lot of different places, but I happen to be an enroller. It's what I do. I'm a prolific enroller. I sponsor a lot of people. So I've personally sponsored in LevAI 142 people thus far. And those 142 people, so that's my Gen 1. So that's 142 people. Whenever any of them get an acquisition bonus, I'm going to get a 4% matching bonus. Whenever they get a team commission, I'm going to get a 4% matching bonus. Whenever they get an infinity payout, I'm going to get a 4% matching bonus. But now we know the way that what I've always taught is the power of the multiplier. The way that it should work is if we have whatever the number of people is, let's say it's not 140, let's say it's 10 people that are on generation one. Well, if I have 10, we don't need that's called a real number. I have 142 people I've personally enrolled. Those 142, even if they're not very good, if they all just enroll one, then that means that there's 142 on Gen 2, but they'll certainly enroll more than one. We've got a five wide comp plan, right? And so if those 142 each simply enroll two, then that becomes 280 and then 560, and then over 1,000 matching bonuses on generation four. having 1,000 matching bonuses on 1,000 people on whom, whenever they get a team commission or they get an acquisition bonus or an infinity bonus, this will produce the largest checks anyone's ever seen in network marketing. I know that to be true. This is the target we should all be aiming for. This is the mother lode. It's the best money, it's the biggest money, and it's income that is earned because other people are earning. And so if all of our behaviors are to assure that other people earn, we're doing the best thing for them, which happily enough is likewise the best thing for us.
Nice. So 4% down 8 levels. And a lot of people say, oh, what if my business goes outside of the 8 levels? Because I'm going to have more people on, level 9 than all 8 levels combined. And then I have more people on level 10 than all that 9 levels combined. Well, the company has thought of that. And as you advance, so as you get to this director rank and above, you start to kick in to a 1%, or is it 4% beginning until the next rank comes up? Is that how it works? Then it goes 3, 2, 1.
Now, the way that you get the 4%, for you to have that 4% infinity payout, that means that you have those 5 legs of 20,000 each. That's what gets you the 4%. And to make sure that there's no misunderstanding, so here we have Aaron, and Aaron has this 8 generation deep block of volume. And how does it pay? It pays 20% here, then 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Well, then what happens on generation 9? Well, if Aaron has 5 legs of 20,000 each, then this 4% simply continues. It's still 4%. And it will continue at that 4% until someone down here is likewise at your rank. Now, let me amend that. When someone down here becomes a director, then that director becomes eligible for one of the 4 points. The 4 points is still being paid, but now because there's a director, that director is getting 1 point and you're getting 3.
Hmm.
When there is an innovative director, that goes to 2 and 2. When it's visionary, this becomes 1 and 3. And then finally, when there's another legacy director down there, then that has maxed itself out. That's the way the matching bonus works. And the key, and not the matching bonus, the infinity payout. And the key is there will be much larger checks earned in the infinity payout than
Mm.
here. This is limited to 8 generations. We know the way that it really works. There will not be a lot of people, even though to me it sounds so easy. There won't be a lot of people as a percentage who have 5 legs of 20,000 each. That's not the truth. That's not the way that it really will go. And so down here will produce much larger checks. In fact, I know I'm talking too much. I'll try to shut up. But if we think about what will produce the biggest check for guys like Aaron, that's check match. What produces the next realm of checks for people who don't yet know how to grow leadership groups? That's infinity. So the people who the big money, where is it? It's check match. Where is the middle money? It is infinity. This, a 8 generation unilevel, if one does not build a lot of first generation volume, this is going to produce $5,000 or $6,000 a month. A unilevel based on 100 points, that's not going to create a lot of money. So the big check, that's check match. The next check, that's infinity. The next check, that's the unilevel. And then finally, we get to 50% acquisition bonuses. And so there's a lot of things I love about the plan. But what I like is no matter who I'm talking to, I can identify the part of the plan that seems like it was written for them. If I'm talking to my Aarons of the world, there aren't that many of them. I'm talking to an Aaron, teaching them all about the leverage matching bonus, because that's what's going to create the biggest check you've ever had. If I'm talking to people who are $10,000, $20,000 a month people, the focal point is infinity. If I'm talking to people who just want to take a little pressure off, make 3 or 4 or 5 grand a month, that's team commissions. Guy that wants to make $1,000 a month, that's acquisition bonus.
Beautiful. So you can earn, between 1 and 4% infinity. So guys, don't worry about you just keep building. And so we've
That's
gone
right.
through this in a lot of detail, but really when I'm talking, particularly someone that understands comp plans, I say, look, it's an 8 level uni level, we get 50% acquisition uptime, 20% on your level ones. It's 4% down 2 to 8. We have a 4% matching bonus that goes down 4 levels, and then 1 to 4% infinity outside the 8. And a networker gets that and go, okay, got it. I understand.
Simplest thing ever. Right.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's a very simple comp plan. And like I said, there's no hoops to jump through. The biggest hoop you got to jump through is getting 3 customers, right? Or two
That's right.
customers to rank advance. And we're going to be able to do that. And so that's the compensation plan. I might just pause there, see if we've got any questions in and around that. And then I just want to talk a little bit about got one other. Oh, just positioning in our back office. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We can probably do that, Jared, one on one, so we can have a bit of a look. The thing with compensation plans, mate, the biggest answer that you'll get is it depends. Like it really does
Yeah.
depend on, you know, how many of your leaders are really kicking in, which is going to depend on your matching bonus. How many people are outside your like there's a lot of it depends, but you know, you can work some mathematics backwards on some examples. So perhaps we can do that one on one. That'd be fun. When would you go from three across to five? Is going deeper better than wider? That's a good question, Bernie. And that's one thing I wanted to touch on, particularly when we start talking about placement shortly, because right now in your back office, you can start to place people in your team. And, you know, with a binary, that's a lot of fun and it's good. In a uni level, you got to be a little bit careful because, and yeah, Randy can speak on this, is in a uni level, you want to go wide, right? Because you think about, you want to keep your best builders as high up as humanly possible. And you don't want to go from a 20% to a 4% too early, or you don't want to have that person drop down out of your eight quicker than you need to. So you want to sort of identify, and what you do is you just write down your team and your leaders, go into your back office and see who's performing and go, okay, that's one of my leaders, they're going to be a team. That's another one of my leaders. And you could divide it up into states, or you might say that's my Filipino team, that's my Australian team, that's my Canadian
Right.
team. You could do it that way. But yeah, you don't want to be putting your superstars, you know, really on even on your second level. You want to be keeping them up as high as you can. Now, it's not, you know, my old company, it had a 20% matching bonus on level one, then it dropped right down to 10% level two, and then 5%. And so giving enrollments away or placing people deep, you can lose a lot of money. Here, at least your matching bonus is still 4%, 4%, 4%. So it's not so bad in terms of the match, but again, you want to keep them up as high as you can. So just on placements, Randy, we'll just share the screen a minute and show people how to do that. But I think it's a good question from Bernie. You know, should she keep her 20 people in a group of three, do it in a group of five? You know, what's your sort of look at that sort of sequence?
So first, the really, really important thing for all to know is what we teach when someone is rolling out the business is going to have a monumental impact on our multiplication. So our compensation plan will let us activate everything with what? One, two, three, four, five legs. So my first answer, Bernie, is I don't know why anyone would start with three. I would start with five. I mean, really and truly, everyone. I mean, my opinion is that everyone should enroll five people, and those five people should be where they start five legs. That's what I believe. I don't see any reason to not be qualifying for all the compensation plan. If you've got the horsepower to enroll five, that should be five first level legs. But now understand that there's no limitation on how wide we can go. I had a person yesterday who was completely confused. He thought we're only going to get paid all of these things on five legs. No, if you want to build 10 legs wide, or when I was at New Skin, I had to build 15. When I was at Rexall Showcase, I had to build 10. Well, if you want to build 10 legs wide, build 10 legs wide, because then you'll have 10 where you're getting all of this. And my simple strategy is this: I want to give people who don't have the horsepower to do an enormous amount of enrolling, the legitimate true hope that you can build with relatively small enrolling. Only five legs gets you to the top of the plan. But if I'm talking to me, if I found a nutball like me who's going to go all the way to the top, whatever it takes, then I'm going to tell him, hey, build five legs and get them valid. And right after you do that, go build five more legs and get them volume. Why not have 10 legs on which we've got that entire unit level? Why not have 10 legs on which we get the infinity? There's no limitation to it. So if it were me, I would start with five. As soon as you know that you've got five that are validated. And what does that mean? It means that there's somebody down here when you've got five legs with somebody down here who is pushing the volume beneath that eighth generation. That's when I would start the second group of five. And that's not, and what I'm describing to you is not what I would do. It is what I have already done.
Thanks for that, Randy. And that's really good to hear that explanation. And so, Bernie, the way, and again, we can jump on a Zoom one-on-one and we can place your people together, you know, make sure you're comfortable and doing it all correctly. So you weigh up that balance, right? So, for example, Bernie, if you had someone that you enrolled in Perth in Western Australia and then someone else from Perth enrolled, you could place those two people together. So perhaps they've never done networking before, perhaps a bit more of a customer, they might refer a few people. Sure, you can place that person on their level too and they can work together. So that's where it can work really well. But you could place nobody. You could just go, I'm going to have 30 people wide here and just have everyone on your level one. What it can do for people like Randy might send me a message tomorrow and say, "Hey, Aaron, I just enrolled someone in Australia. I don't really know them. They look pretty capable. They had 3,000 followers on their Facebook. They've done a bit of networking before. I just know that you're going to look after them really well in Australia. And I just want to give you a bit of a leg up, bit of a favor, bit of a thank you." And I'm like, "Hey, Randy, thanks a lot because I've got another person in my team." But it's not really in Randy's best mathematical interest to do that. But in terms of his team and his business long term, it makes a lot of sense because we live close together, we can build together, and perhaps we do that for the next 10 years instead of that person maybe dropping off because they haven't got anyone to
Right.
work with. So putting people that are
Get it?
like-minded or similar interests or live together, that's where it can make sense. But just understand the maths. You're better off keeping as many people on your level one as you can.
Right. So just a quick comment on that. Again, I always encourage people to listen to what I say, but more importantly, observe what I do. And if there's ever a gap between what I say and what I do, then what I do is what you got to pay attention to. I hope there's never a gap. I hope they always are the same, but observe what I do. And so what Aaron just taught is a principle that I already do because I've enrolled three other people in Australia. And what did I do? There's no sense at all for me to enroll them and keep them. I placed them down line of Aaron. Then I called Aaron and said, "Here are these people that I put down line of you. Why in the world would I, living in the United States, have multiple personal enrollments in Australia when I could have them all working together and when time zones and everything else are there?" And again, going directly down the line, my business is an interesting one. I don't happen to be Israeli and I'm not Jewish. But just the luck of the draw, my business globally has looked sort of like the LL route map for the last 30 years. I mean, it looks like it's
Mhm.
headquartered in Tel Aviv and it spreads everywhere because I've made a specific decision to pursue and to engage with that Israeli diaspora. And so that's another one of my legs. All of my enrollments that are Israeli expatriates, if they're my personals, they're all conspired into one leg. Now, I'm happy that Aaron just opened this up because it lets me continue to describe my strategy. Here you see at the top over there, at the very top, it says Uri Moses. This is one of the most amazing people that I know. He played on the Slovakian national basketball team, and his goal was to play in the NBA. That was his goal. I want to play in the NBA. And then he found out that being good enough to be on the Slovakian national team is not the same as being good enough to play in the NBA. Those are very different things. And so he converted. And when he joined me first in network marketing, it was 8 years ago, and he was living still in a one bedroom apartment, and he was allowing three of his sisters to live with him. He had 10 sisters and living in Slovakia. He went 3 years later, he was making €2 million a month in my business in network marketing. Since that time, Uri had some things happen in his life, and since that time, he has not been active. And so I chose, it was a strategic point for me. Uri is much closer to Aaron's age than he is to my age. The truth is that Uri and Aaron, when they get to know one another, I have exhausted my ability to re-engage Uri. And so it was a strategic thing. This is a guy that I know can play, but I've not been able to get him to play. And so I tried to pick where might I put him that would both it'd be doing two things. It would be honoring my relationship with Aaron, and it would be giving me a new chance, another bite of that Uri apple. Okay, the next one under that, his name is Vincent LaMancha. This is another guy that I personally enrolled. I chose to place him with Aaron because why? Because he specifically said, "Randy, I want to build a business outside the United States. I want to be in Asia. I need somebody who can do three-way phone calls with me and help me with people that is time zone appropriate for them." So anyway, I've talked too long, but strategically, it's not for me just happenstance. Every person, there's thought given to why am I placing them here? And it has to be creating something that is more than 1 plus 1. If 1 plus 1 is only two, there's no point in making the placement. If 1 plus 1 is something greater than two, then there's a reason to make the placement there. So that's how I do it.
Awesome, that perfect, exactly. Love it. And so, guys, in your back office, you log in, you click on organization, you can click on waiting room. And is it correct, Randy, that as we launch and as we get going, people will be in your waiting room for 48 hours? Did I hear that correctly?
That is correct. And you'll notice if you take a look at this, the company's kind of giving us a hint when it says there's 4 days left for these placements. There's a pretty good guess that maybe 4 days from now is the day that this thing goes live because the temporary enrollments are not being temporary anymore from that day. So yes, there's been a larger window during the pre-launch because there were more enrollments that had to be placed. But as soon as it goes live, it'll be 48 hours.
Pretty exciting. So the waiting room here, when you enroll someone, guys, they'll go into the waiting room. You have 2 days to place them. If you do not place someone within those 2 days, they'll just stay on your level one and they'll be there forever. which is
That's
not the
correct.
worst thing in the world. But if you want to get a bit strategic and you want into place, just understand you have 2 days to do that. So you click on the waiting room here. Now, if I want to enroll Adrian underneath Adam, what I would do here is I'd just come in here, I click on place. You can go and click on, you can find the person over here and click on there. That'll bring up their ID. Or I could type in Adam. It should come up with an Adam Gray. Bang, I click on that one and I click on save. Now, once I click on save, I don't want to place Adrian under Adam, so I'm not going to do that. But once I click on save, it'll then ask me, are you sure? Because once you have placed somebody, there's no going back. You can't ring up the company and go, oh my God, I made a mistake or put them under the wrong person. They're just not going to have the bandwidth for 100 people doing that a day. And so to get the rules set straight away, understand that it's permanent once you place somebody. So make sure you, and again, if you're not sure, strategic wise or comp plan wise, or whether you think it'll be a good match, give me a call. We'll go through the specifics together and we'll place them together to make sure you never get it wrong. And
Can I make can I make one more really
yeah,
important comment right here, Aaron? As I look at this, um, it's really important. This next thought's a really important thought. I did not tell Aaron that I was ever going to put anyone down line of him. Please don't ever do that. I didn't say that. When Aaron and I were talking, one of the things I did not say is, oh, Aaron, if you do this, I will give you this leg. If you do this, I'll put these people down line of you. No, Aaron didn't have any clue that I was putting anyone down line of him until I did. And then I told him what I had done. I did not create an expectation by saying something I would do. And that was never part of a recruiting message. Please, please, please don't create the expectation among anybody ever that you're going to place people down line of you because you'll never be able to meet all of, I mean, if you fall into that mess, it will be a trap that's hard to claw out of.
yeah, it'll backfire and it just doesn't make any sense, particularly with a uni level. Like a binary comp
Right.
plan, you can have different types of conversations. It doesn't make sense here, and we don't want to create that culture. It will backfire for sure. And so what I've been doing is just keeping an eye on my teams here, and it can kind of tell me, I can kind of see who the leaders are going to be. And yeah, this is very, very new, and a lot of people aren't sure, and a lot of people want to see the product, and I totally get that. But I can come over here and I can see, oh, who's this Adrian Guscott guy? He's enrolled a lot of people. Okay, so he's enrolled a lot here. So Adrian might be one of my leaders that I want to leave on level one and build a team underneath. Colin, who's Colin? Colin's enrolling a lot of people. This looks really good. He's another one of my leaders. Oh, Gabriella, one, two, three, four. And Gabriella is someone that's joined quite a few companies and she's super excited about this one. The most enrollments I've seen. Bernie. Okay, so you can sort of come through here and see who your leaders are going to be, who's enrolled the most amount of people. Jared is absolutely on fire. Again, this is the one for the ages for Jared. I just believe that people that have had a few false starts, yeah, this is going to be the company for them, and it's really, really exciting to see. So you can sort of come here and see who your leaders are going to be, and then, okay, go into my waiting room, write it out on a bit of paper, plan who your leaders are, and then come through place a few people if it makes sense, like what we've spoken about, and then like what Randy said, then message and say, hey, just chuck these 3 people in your business, and they're going to be like, well, thank you very much, didn't expect that. And that's the way to do it. But yeah, for me, I've already just written out where my 5 legs would be, and maybe that will end up being 6, 7, or 8. But really, I've just mapped out 5 leaders. And then, sort of build under that a little bit and then continue to go wide. So that's kind of my strategy as well. But that's how you do it technically. And they're really the main things that I wanted to go over with you guys tonight and get Randy's thoughts on as well and sort of go back and forth. Anything else you want to add there, Randy? I just wanted people to make sure they understood the system. This is where our Facebook groups are. This is how I stay in touch because if you don't know when the webinars are on, if you don't know when, we've got a new product that's just launched in their back office, you've got to be able to stay in touch. Understand the comp plan, understand how to build this, even just, and I know I joked about it at the start, but a lot of people, I would say, probably don't even understand where their link is, right? So you log
Right,
into
right.
your Get LevAI business, your referral link is right here. You literally click on that, whether you're on your phone or a computer, and copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. And so when I've been speaking with people on socials, I always send them that, and it's amazing how many people have enrolled. I know it's free right now. But it's not going to be expensive to upgrade and use the product. So copy and paste that, send it to people, particularly over the next week while it still is free. Just get as many people in as you can. If you want to customize this link, because your link will probably say getlevai.ai slash a bunch of numbers, you can come in
Right.
here and change it. And it's a good idea to do this. It brands it. So I've just put AB, my initials at the end of that. So I could call it, I could call it Aaron. I could call it, Legend, whatever I wanted to call it, right? And click on save. and then that becomes your personal link. But that's where that one is. But get familiar with this, guys. Log in, yeah, click on the resources, understand the comp plan, come and fill in your profile because we want the company to know that Australia's on the map. Oh, wow, there's like 10,000 people enrolled in Australia. Let's make sure that we look after those guys and make sure their credit cards are being processed and make sure their IP address is what, the great thing is we haven't got physical products, so it's not like they're going to go, oh, okay, let's make sure we're shipping to Australia and we get that right. Let's put a general manager in it. That's the beauty of this business is it's digital, something that I've been looking for. And I didn't want to do crypto and I didn't want to do travel and I didn't want to do gold and silver. There are a couple of digital products out there that were interesting. You just can't beat AI. I mean, a lot of my success in my last company, sure, it was talent and hard work and all the things that you do, but it really helps when all of the media is talking about stem cells all the time, and then that's our product. Well, what is everywhere on social media and the media today? We don't have to go and what's AI? Leanne, what's AI? Tell me what. Like, everyone's going to know the product, right? And all you have to do is say we just got the best. It's all in one spot. It's easy to use. It's 99 a month. And so I believe that once you get an understanding of this, once you start to use the product, this is going to be I mean, it's going to be so much faster than putting skincare on your face. Even if it does work, waiting the 6 months for that wrinkle to go away, and then people go, wow, this is great. You're going to be able to go and put your AI twin up on your social media, like what I did the other day, just playing around in a few different languages, and everyone's just going to go, wow, how do I get that? It's going to be the fastest, most showable. So don't just tell people about it, show them. Okay, so don't tell, show, and they're going to be blown away, and you're going to get a lot of yeses. I think you're going to get a lot more yeses than nos, and so that's what I love about this. It's the sexiest digital product on the planet right now, and it's not that product-based companies don't have their place, and I think they're actually going to make a comeback. But why it's all crazy turmoil right now, we're in the right place at the right time, and that's why I called my team AI Legacy because we really want this to be the legacy build, the legacy company, and in such a great niche. So I'll finish it up there. Last words from you, Randy, and we'll close it up. I'll just check for any questions while you're talking.
Thank you so much, folks. Just very briefly, I'd like to just comment on what is the actual nature of our business. This is the true nature of our business. We recruit. Sometimes people, some of my peers in the industry say, no, Randy, training is the most important. Well, who are we going to train if we don't recruit somebody? The single most important thing is to recruit. It is then to train. And why do we train? We train so that we can retain. Recruit, train, retain. And then, this is the key, fully transfer the baton of knowledge and leadership. The single greatest evidence of success in our business is if when we're not working, nobody even knows because new leadership has been allowed to emerge. Now, when I was early in the industry, the people on the stage kept saying, we want you to be the leader until somebody tried to get the microphone out of their hand or get the spotlight off of them. And then you found out what they wanted. No way in hell were you going to knock them off the stage. What I want you to know is that I don't suffer that sickness. My entire objective is to help you become the biggest and the best that you can be. I don't care if my name is ever said. I've already had my day in the sun. What I want to do is give you your day in the sun. And I promise you that I will never usurp leadership from another. If you invite me, if any of you, like Aaron's invited me here into his business, I will never usurp leadership from Aaron. And if any of you invite me into your business, I will be doing all that is required to completely validate you in the eyes of your leadership. And so please know that I am an added resource. There's no hour of the day that's too early or too late. If you ask me for help, you'll get it. If you don't ask me for help, I'll call and offer it. So that's it. There you go, Aaron.
Absolutely love it, love it, and thanks for all the love hearts, guys. I love these new AI emojis in Zoom, so thanks for that. Thank you, Gloria. Ryan, the answer to that is yes. I looked that up, so the websites will have that. Yeah, we'll put this recording up in the Facebook group. So think about the Facebook group as our home base, guys. It's the hub where everything will go, but we'll always record these and put them up. We'll be able to update profile with image yet. I'm not sure, Gabby, if it's not able to be done already. Once we launch, yes, you'll definitely be able to put a picture there for your profile image. Any patents on any technology or parts of the business as of yet, or where I think what Samuel's asking is anything we've got technology-wise patented or protected?
Understand that the part of the technology is proprietary and it's the company's own developers. Part of the company is licensed technology. The digital avatar is licensed technology. We have unique access to it in the direct selling space and a couple of other channels. The interactive avatar is licensed technology, and those are both patent protected. In terms of the individual code written by the company, I have not heard. I don't know. I'll find out.
And just on that is one point that I did want to bring up. I know a lot of people understand, but also a lot of people don't. And one of my first questions to Randy was, who is the tech people behind this? Because if, we just bought the rights to some AI, we're going to be obsolete next week because it's growing so quickly. And, so we have an incredible tech partnership. We have incredible individuals that are part of the business. In the short, we're all covered in that area. And so moving forward, ongoing, we're always going to be, right up there, step of the head with the technology. We're not planning on getting left behind. So, and from a Terry LaCour point of view, understanding guys that I've been aware of Terry for many, many years. He's had his business up and running for a couple of decades. He's been involved with direct sales for well over a decade. And so he's got, over $1 billion of infrastructure. He owns multiple companies with physical products. He ships all around the world, takes credit cards all around the world. He's really probably the grandfather of network marketing in the world in terms of infrastructure that he has. So
That's
that's
right.
the owners of LevAI. So it's not just, someone that doesn't understand this industry that's created a cool AI product. It kind of ticks every box. So the product is great, the tech is great, the vision moving forward has been thought through, but we have someone that understands the network marketing industry, understands compensation plans, that already has staff. And so maybe just speak a little bit on that. I know you've met with Terry, Randy, you've been to his house, and
Yeah.
I think it's really important. A lot of people probably don't think of these things, but experienced people, it really does matter.
Yeah, the thing about Terry, the most important thing for me, beyond the facts that you just stated, I mean, the money has to be there. If there's no money,
Mm,
you're going to be in trouble. And so,
mm,
first of all, the money is there. And the most beautiful thing that happened, and I couldn't have predicted this, but we went from being a tiny, tiny, tiny little speck on Terry's radar screen only a month and a half ago. And suddenly we got 32,000 members. And both Terry and I and everybody who really is in the know, we think that goes to 10,000 a day within 30 days of us being open.
mm.
We have got all of the attention. I mean, all of the resources of LaCour Enterprises are being poured into this because they can see it only took 30 days to identify the fact that this is not like anything any of us have ever participated in before. Now, the only cautionary note that I want to make is that this project was not intended, it was not slated to go live until January. And it was at my request that it was updated until now. And the reason for that, so you know, is that there was a large AI company that was hitting the wall, and there were more than 1.25 million participants that we thought perhaps we could capture, but we would have to act now because they weren't going to sit around and wait until January. And so we chose to act sooner than we anticipated. The result is that there will be some markets where credit card processing is going to be problematic at the outset. It wasn't intended until January. And so, for any of you in Australia, I beg you, please, if you don't have a PayPal account, get one because that will eliminate the problem. It might take us 60 or 90 days. And by the way, some credit cards are going to run, but we're probably going to have 25 or 30% of Australian credit cards that don't run. So let's know in advance that that's going to happen for the first 60 days and do something about it. And the thing to do is establish a PayPal account that will make it, that will immediately solve the problem and understand that let's assume that we go live Monday. I mean, Aaron has said 2 or 3 weeks. Aaron is more risk averse than me. Blake tells me that I run with scissors, and sometimes I do. I run with scissors. Um, but I'm not telling you something that I don't have a whole lot of reason to believe is accurate. I think this thing goes live between Monday and Wednesday. That's what I think. And I know that within 10 days of the go live date, we will also accept crypto for payments in and for paying people back. And so the whole credit card issue will only be an inconvenience for about a week to 10 days. And within 90 days, you saw one of Terry's biggest businesses is credit card processing. So there is no question we will ultimately accept credit cards everywhere in the world. But there are some markets where you have to have local banks, local processors, so on and so on. And so let's just acknowledge that along with the profound opportunity of being first, are the challenges that go along with being first and embrace those as they come along.
Yeah, thank you for that. Perfect. What's the difference between personal and team enrollment, Kathy? Your personal enrollments is anyone that you enroll yourself personally, and team enrollments is anyone that your team are enrolling. So just think about personal enrollments are just yours, team is everybody else. Building a team with support is gold. We got you, Gabby. Absolutely. I think, yep, we answered those ones. Um, recording. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep, you're a part of the best team, Gabby. That is for sure. No question about it. What videos are the best to share potential with team and customers? We're going to have a lot more sizzle videos come out, Kathy, as we launch. There's one really great sizzle video that's available on the YouTube channel. It's also in our Facebook groups as well. So I'd be sharing that far and wide. I would also pick, one of the presentations because, let's face it, most people, particularly cold market, if you say, here, watch this 45-minute webinar, they're just not going to. So I would share
Right.
that sizzle video with them first, then pick one of Randy's or whoever you like to hear from the most opportunity presentations. When you're following up with them and say, hey, what do you think of that video? And they'll say, it's pretty interesting with AI. Okay, here's a 35, 40 minute. This is A to Z of everything. Let me know once you've watched that and we can get back together. So that's really all I've been sharing is that short, 1, 2 minute sizzle video followed by an opportunity presentation along with my free link and sign up, follow up, follow up. So that's really all. But there'll be lots more videos coming out.
If I were all of you, based on that, if I were all of you, then I would be alternating as follows. I would be sending the sizzle video to provoke the interest. And once again, so you guys know, don't make this hard, make it easy. I mean, every night before I lie down, in my last 15 minutes, what I do is I write a text and it says something like this. Have you yet learned how to leverage AI so that it accrues to your benefit? If not, watch this video and let me know if you'd like to talk. I don't put a name on it because then that takes, and then I copy and paste it and I send it 50 times every night right before bed. That's what I send. Bang, 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 bang. And I'm not choosing and picking who to send it to. A until I'm out of A's, and then B until I'm out of B's, and then C. And what I do is I alternate one night out of my phone contacts, the next night out of my Facebook Messenger contacts, the next night out of my Instagram contacts, the next night out of my LinkedIn contacts, the next night out of WhatsApp. And so it's an ongoing rotation, but it's 50 every single night. And because I'm touching so many people, I wake up the next morning and I then get to react all day long to the people who responded to the message that I sent last night. And the message that I send includes that short 90-second video. And then when somebody pushes reply, this is my experience so far. 100% of people who have replied have enrolled within 48 hours of that. I mean, this is the single most almost insanely easy thing. And don't believe, oh, that's happening for Randy because he's Randy. No, it's not. 90% of these people haven't talked to me, heard from me, don't know anything about me for a decade. That's the truth. It's A. It's not me selecting a candidate. Then what I would send behind that, if I were you, is I would alternate and find out where your greatest results are. I would send a series of them that have the recording that Aaron will do tomorrow, because then that's your specific leader and there's leverage value to that. I would send an alternating, rotating basis, links that have me. I'm likewise a part of your upline support team. I will be more impactful for some, Aaron will be more impactful for some. And then I would also have one that you like. I think Scotty Merker does a beautiful job. I think he does a really nice job. Over the next week or 2 weeks, we'll begin adding more people to that speaking roster. We're ready to add any of you the second you're ready to be added. Anyway, I've rambled on. Don't make this be hard. Let it be easy. Remember that people will act more on what you believe than they will on the words that you say. People can hear your belief. And so if there's any part of this message that hasn't yet found its way home, you're still questioning, that's what has to be addressed first. If you arrive at the conclusion I have arrived at, and this is the conclusion, this is my own conclusion. This is the single biggest chance of my life. That coming from someone who's earned $50 million in network marketing commissions. This is the single biggest opportunity in my life. That gives me reason to believe it might be your biggest opportunity too.
Thank you, Randy. Well, thanks everyone for jumping on. I'm going to put this recording up in the groups later today. Make sure you tag your team. Make sure they watch. This is going to be very, very important training for them. Anyone that's missed out will need to hear this. And we're ready to rock and roll. Thanks again, Randy. And thanks everyone for your
Beautiful.
time on a Saturday. Cheers.
I'll be in touch tomorrow and I look forward to you tomorrow evening. Okay. Thank you
Beautiful.
guys. I
Thanks.
really appreciate you. And I'm here to help. Bye bye.